Hello everyone. So today I'm going to be doing a reading on love. Okay, so this is a collective reading. It's not a personal reading, and what that means is that it's not for everybody. So take what resonates and leave the rest. And also remember that the highest form of love is the love that we have within ourselves. Okay, so a lot of times when we come to a reading and we're looking for love, guidance, answers, the answers are already within ourselves. And reading cards is basically just like using your intuition. And the way I read is I read through what the cards mean, the intuition that I feel when I look at the cards, and what the pictures show me. I usually don't read reversals unless I am really called to. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get into your reading, okay? All right. My black cat Zoe has joined us. She says hello. She's still a kitty. I thought she was a boy and I was going to name her Salem. But then I found out she was a girl, and everybody said that I could still name her that, but it just didn't feel right to me. I have 2 cats. I was never a cat person until about a few years ago. And the thing is both of my cats took like weeks to name, and I named them originally something first, and then I changed their name. The first time I thought my male cat Max was a girl, and I named him Pumpkin Pie. Now his name is Maximus Artemis. And my second cat, I thought she was a boy, and I named her Salem, like I already said, and now her name is Zoe. Has anybody realized that it's easier to name dogs than it is cats? A part of me feels like the cat knows its name. All right, so I'm gonna do one more shuffle. This is my favorite deck right now. This is the Lightseers Pocket Tarot. I take it everywhere with me because everywhere I go, somebody asks for a reading, so I'm always prepared. All right, so what does the collective need to know about their love? Ooh, Ace of Swords. So that tells me that you already know. You already know what you need to do. You already know the answer, or you might already know the person. Intuitive guidance is really talking to you right now. So if you're in a relationship and you're thinking something about somebody, you're thinking, ooh, the Two of Swords. So what I was going to say before this jumped out was the Ace of Swords is all about the thinking mind. It's about the thoughts that come to mind, the emotions that we feel, listening to our intuition, listening to that little nudge that we get. Because the Two of Swords, when I look at this card, I really just see a girl who's blinded. She has no idea what's going on. And usually when I look at this card, it kind of brings out a lot of emotion for me, because I feel like for so long in my life, I was this girl. And I think many of us are. And another thing that I noticed is all the like scratches on her arms. And, you know, it just looks like a lot of pain, a lot of darkness. And so what's coming to mind now is that you might feel really alone. You might be thinking things. You might need clarity on things. Maybe you feel abandoned. Or maybe actually what came to mind right now is maybe you know that this person is not for you, but you don't want to see it. So then I have the Emperor. Okay, so giving Aries energy, giving very much, you know, okay, so I was going to say giving very much confidence. But when I actually really look closer, I noticed that he's holding a chess piece. And for me right now, that's telling me that maybe somebody could be playing games and you don't see it, okay? I'm sorry, I wanted the setup to be, let me just put them down. It might be easier that way. So let me know in the comments if you guys like it this way, I can definitely switch it up. I have a lot of things for tarot. I can add things. I will also get the bigger deck of this. I had it, but I gifted it to a friend of mine. So I went with the pocketbook. So Ace of Pentacles. That tells me a new opportunity is coming. Something new, something long lasting, something that you've been working on. So with the Pentacles, I like to look at it as it's the reward for our work, right? So we plant the seeds, we water it, it has some sun, and then the Ace of Pentacles is our reward. Look at it like the swords are the seed, the cups are the water. Oh, I'm sorry. The wands are like the fires, like the sun, and then the Ace of Pentacles is like the fruit. Okay, so Temperance, this could be Sagittarius energy. This is all about bringing balance, kind of balancing like the light and the dark energy. The Emperor could definitely be your energy as well. You can be looking at this as like a game of playing chess, or maybe you don't, maybe they don't know that you know something. But the Judgment card is, what I see right now when I look at her though, is kind of like a girl that's just like pleading, and her higher self is dancing. And maybe the higher soul is trying to send you messages. The thing about readings like this, though, is that we already know the answer 99% of the time. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes we're completely just blindsided. But we already know the answer. The answers are always within us. But we look to others for that reassurance or that guidance to, you know, solidify what we're already thinking. And sometimes we look to others to talk us out of what we already know because we don't want to believe it, right? And, you know, there's no judgment here. It's all love. But, yeah, the moon. So the moon is secrets. There's something that you don't know, something that you don't see coming. You know, for some of you, this can be, like, I want to say a new opportunity after you have maybe done some work, some shadow work, some soul searching, maybe working on some anxious attachment, maybe working on some avoidant attachment styles. Let me see. Let me get some clarity here. Okay, so that wanted to come out. I will show it to you. It did not come out though. Okay, so this is how I like to read cards. So 10 of Pentacles, you know, this is what I think you want. This is what your goal is. This is family. This is abundance. This is happiness. This is safety, security. Now it wanted to flip out, but it didn't. So if it comes back again, it was meant for this reading, okay? However, that also tells me something. It wanting to come out, but it not coming out, tells me that maybe the person that you're with, you're very confused over. Maybe they're not telling you how they really feel. Maybe they're holding back. The Ten of Swords also came out. So I feel like you're in this energy of you don't want to walk away. But you're very confused. And you know, I'm going to keep it real with you. I am confused just by looking at this reading. Normally I'm not confused when I do readings, but me feeling confused tells me that the person that this reading resonates with is going through a lot. Emotionally, I see a lot of blue, a lot of like, there's really no bright colors really. It's turning though. It's turning into yellow. So that tells me also you're kind of going through your emotions. Maybe you feel something and you're just not sure because it's not tangible. Ooh, okay. All right. This message came in clear. So you, I think, are not sure if you should move forward. You're kind of on the fence. You're not sure if you should move forward with this person. You feel like you're kind of in a game of chess. And you really never know what's going to happen. You know, you don't see what's coming. But you know in your heart and soul what you need to do for yourself. And that doesn't always mean like leave your partner. I mean, unless they are abusive in any way, then, you know, please seek help and make sure that you are safe, because that's most important than above anything. But it's like you are pleading. When I see this card, the Judgment card, I'm looking at her and she's just like pleading. Oh, just one moment. My kitty. Hi, Zoe. Oh, get down. Okay. You're pleading for you just want some relief. You just want some relief. And with the moon, you know, that's Cancer energy. There's also Aries energy and Sagittarius energy. But I think what it is you're looking for something tangible and they are just not providing that. Not at this time. So I'm going to ask, what can the collective do? What is the message for the collective that they can do for the highest good for themselves and for all? That's going to bring them the most... Ooh, okay, that one jumped out. The most success, the most joy. So I have the King of Cups. Okay, so that's all about emotions. That's going near water. You know, there's a bowl right there, and that reminds me of the singing bowl. And I actually have one right there in the back. So that's starfish. That's emotions. That is your cup overflowing. So, and this looks like a lighter blue. It's not as dark, you know? So maybe some of you need to go to the beach this weekend because you're in conflict. You are kind of like battling yourself what you should do. What should I do? What is the best? You know, your emotions. But you know, I think you're really holding your emotions together, because the King of Cups is like, you know, he's a king, he's wise. And you know, in tarot it's not masculine or feminine. So let's see what that one is. Oh, the Lovers. So the Lovers, you know, is all about partnership, abundance, working together, getting through things, love, you know, love, emotions, everything. But the thing about relationships that a lot of people forget is it takes a lot of hard work, and strength is on the bottom. So you could also be dealing with a Leo. But this is going to take true strength, whatever it is that you need to do. Okay. And the way I give readings is, you know, I'm not a fortune teller, so I can't tell you what your future is going to bring. Only you know that. But I can help you work with your energies now to get to the best place for yourself, which always helps every area and aspect of our life. Okay? Knight of Wands. So you are on fire for this person. And I really feel like this person's probably on fire for you as well. That coming out right after the Lovers card tells me that you have a lot of passion in this relationship. So what is it that the collective needs to know about their partner? What is it that they need to do for the highest good of all? What are the messages and the guidance that you have for the collective? So let's see. The Eight of Wands. So the Eight of Wands is something coming in fast. And you know, I think it's funny because if you look at the reading, it kind of has it goes from like earthy tones, and then it transitions to some blue tones, then it transitions to like some red tones and some pink tones. So I feel like it's kind of like all the chakras going, right? You might be a fire sign also. Knight of Cups. So I feel like this person really wants to make a move, do something. And you know what? Look, at the cup right here is what I saw. And I'm telling you, I've read these cards like at least 100 times. And I just saw that cup right there. And so when that stands out to me, I realize that's something I need to pay attention to. And look, this one has a cup too. So I really feel like the person that you're dealing with doesn't really have any ill intentions. You know, the Lover's card came out, the Knight of Wands card came out. So this person's on fire for you. This person sees like a relationship. They want to make a move. However, they're keeping secrets. And the secrets don't have to be bad. The secret could be, I'm scared, I'm not ready. Maybe I don't make enough money. Maybe I feel like I can't show up in the ways that I need to show up in. They don't always have to mean like third party, okay? All right. 3 of Cups. So I feel like this person's been kind of hanging around with friends as well lately, kind of trying to get, let's say, like their cup filled up. And maybe that's what you've been doing too. And if you haven't been, then I know you definitely need to start doing that. Okay? Because the thing is we grow, we heal, and we learn from our soul tribe. And sometimes we just need to have a night of fun or a day of fun or just get our mind off of the situation. And then clarity comes in, right? Because with the Ace of Swords, it's already there. Maybe you just haven't consciously picked it up yet, okay? And I have the Ace of Cups. So I feel like this reading is saying that you are going to have a new beginning and a new opportunity with the person that you are thinking about right now. Your significant other does care. Maybe you're the type of person that kind of gets into your own head a lot. Maybe you feel like he's playing games or you've been played before and you're scared. But yeah, because look at the 4 of Pentacles came out. I feel like you're holding on to your dignity right now, maybe your pride. And so maybe the roles are reversed. You know, roles can always be reversed. Maybe you're the one that's holding back your true feelings because you're scared of being hurt. And you're coming to, you know, obviously readers for readings. Yes, oh my gosh, look, because you're the Hermit right now. You're in contemplation. You're thinking. You know, you're trying to figure out what my next move is. All right. I'm really, really happy that it took a turn. Oh my gosh, at the bottom of the deck. 10 of Cups. Because that's what you ultimately want, right? But to have something, we have to be it first. So if you want that family, if you want your cups to be fulfilled, if you want this and you want that, you have to be honest. Okay? On both sides. Like I said, the roles can be reversed. There's something probably for everybody. When you do a collective reading, you pick up on a lot of energies, and it can be kind of a lot. But if you ultimately want that family overflowing with emotional like fulfillment, right? And you know, it's never perfect. It never is. But we can make it the best we can, you know? You have to let go of something. And I keep hearing pride. So if it's not you, it's, you know, like I said, the roles can be reversed. But I feel like the reading kind of took a turn. And I'm sorry, it's kind of all over the place, but sometimes readings can be like that. And one thing about me is that I will always tell you what I honestly feel. I feel like my gift is a gift and it will be taken from me if I do not use it correctly. So I'm not really a twin flame reader. I'm not, you know, gonna like tell you delulu things to like keep you like shackled. Like, no, I'm gonna tell you what I see. But 99% of my readings always turn out to be like, what is it that I need to do in this moment to help myself? And then you do it, you come back, and then the reading changes. If you don't do it, I always know though, because the reading stays the same. So Spirit tells on you. Okay, so with the Devil, you know, you could be a Capricorn, you could be dealing with a Capricorn, but this can also mean that maybe you have some codependent things going on. You might have some addictions. You might feel attached to this person in an unhealthy way, which just means that you would have to work on your attachments first, right? We are the only people that can make ourselves happy. We have to learn how to self-regulate. And let me tell you, it is not easy. I have to do that myself sometimes. And I'm like, wow, you know? Yeah, because like with the Queen of Cups, so we have the King of Cups and we have the Queen of Cups. So them both coming out tells me you guys could both be water signs, you know? Or maybe you guys both are just looking for that emotional fulfillment, but it takes work to be able to get there, you know? So like if you, for example, you know, in my past relationships, I always wanted to just be loved and adored and, you know, always chosen. But did I choose myself? Did I adore myself? Or did I abandon myself for them every time? And I showed them how I wanted to be treated because that's the way I treated myself. And that's not what I really wanted. I wanted to be loved and chosen. But when you don't love or choose yourself, and we might think that we do, and don't get me wrong, of course we love ourselves on some levels, but when we continuously abandon ourselves for somebody else, we're teaching them that we're not that valuable. They're more valuable than us, you know? So we have to keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm going to pull 2 more cards because that's what I'm hearing. And I love how they both came out at the same time, okay? So, all right. So we have the King of Pentacles and the Tower. So that tells me right there, you're going to have to go through a change. And that just literally validated exactly what I said. And I love when that happens, right? So the King of Pentacles, wise. And tarot isn't masculine or feminine, okay? Like, it doesn't matter. It could be male or female. It could be an earth sign. King of Pentacles is, I'm wise, I've learned, I've grown, and this is what I have to show for it, right? But before that happens, we have to go through the Tower moment. And the Tower is not always scary. Sometimes the Tower is just having a realization. Oh, wait a minute. I need to work on my pride. Wait a second. I need to work on my anxious attachment. I might need to work on my avoidant. I might need to work on any addictions that I have. And we suit up and we show up and we take the path. And 90% of the time, people follow us down the yellow brick road. That's what I like to call it. And if they don't, we're still in a better place, right? But I really, truly feel that this Tower moment isn't so much of a tower, but you watching the lightning strike. But you're okay. You're not in that tree. You're already on the ground looking back like, wow, I dodged that bullet. And you have your acorns with you, you know? So that means you still have what you need, okay? So I want to go ahead and pull from the Hidden Truth Oracle, okay? So let's just get some clarity, some clarification. I know the reading was kind of all over the place, but you know what? I just say what comes to mind, and it's not for me, it's for you guys. So you take what resonates and you just let me know. And if it didn't resonate, then leave it, okay? So these are going to be messages from your person, okay, to you. Ooh, I don't think I'm ready for that yet, but sorry, these are still kind of new. And the funny thing is like, I lost these cards. I was looking for them everywhere. And then I ordered another set. And I found them like literally like hiding behind like a book. And it's so funny because it's called The Hidden Truth, you know? And now I think I have another set coming. So I want to do another shuffle. Sorry, guys. I'm not the best shuffler today, especially these cards are kind of hard. Okay, so these are the messages that your person has for you at this time, okay? Okay, let's see. It says, I hide who I really am from you. What did I say, guys? They are hiding how they really feel. Maybe they don't feel like they're good enough. Maybe they have some things to work on. Oh, I'm sorry. I hid who I really am from you. So that might resonate with somebody. And that does kind of go with what I said, you know? Maybe they're scared to show their emotions. Maybe they're scared of getting hurt. There's a lot of relationships that are like, communication is key, okay? I am grateful for this spiritual lesson. Okay, so maybe you're a spiritual person. If you're the person watching this reading, most likely you're the spiritually ascended one, right? Like, you're the, oh my goodness, you're the one that has spiritual knowledge, right? You're the one that knows about shadow work, all that. So, you know, I'm not saying that they aren't, but you probably taught this person a very big spiritual lesson, okay? You probably taught them a lot of new concepts. I feel you leaving me behind. So maybe for some of you, maybe you have already mentally left this relationship, or maybe you did leave them. Maybe it's not you that is unsure. You know, you guys could be marrying each other. So the thing is like, when we're with somebody and we get into any type of contract with them, right? It's like a covenant, you know, in the higher realms. We're here, it's either for a lesson, right? A lesson, a journey, but we're always going to learn something from everybody, okay? I know I was a distraction from your pain. You know, I was only going to pull 3, and I didn't mean to pull that 4th, but I feel like the person that's on your mind right now is going through like a dark night of the soul. Sometimes I stay awake thinking about you. So maybe you love this person. Maybe you felt like they were playing games and you had had enough and you chose yourself. Maybe you had already healed from your wounds, you know, and you chose, maybe you said, I'm not abandoning myself this time like I've done before. And you left. Because it seems like they're the ones that are suffering and hurting. Is there another message for the collective? I lost myself for a little while. So maybe you left somebody because they were in an addiction. You know, I'm strongly feeling that for some of you, you really did choose yourself. You really did choose self-love over everything else. But it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, you know? I'm going to get one more message, okay? Because honestly, it just feels like this person has a lot of messages for you that feel like that are left unsaid. Maybe you blocked this person. I hope that you can forgive me one day. Yes. So the messages are actually really clear. For some of you, I feel that you left this person. You felt like they were playing games. Maybe you felt like they were juggling somebody, because with my other tarot, you have the 2 of Pentacles. And this is just the Rider-Waite tarot, okay? I feel really called to pull a couple more cards just for clarity. So I'm going to ask for clarity on the I hid who I really am from you, okay? Two of Wands. I feel like this person's still in contemplation, like they want to tell you who they really are. They might feel like, let me get some clarity. Oof. They might feel like it's a burden. They're carrying a lot. They're carrying a lot of weight. Maybe they don't want to put that on you. Yeah, because of the Death card. So this person who hid who they really are for you, they feel like they have to go through a major change before they can come towards you. I love it when it's so clear. All right, so let's get some clarity on I lost myself for a little while. And you know, I didn't realize this, but it's actually next to the Devil card, which is all about, you know, addictions, codependency, chains. So I feel like stress, overwhelm. I'm so sorry, guys. That's my kitty. She's so rambunctious. So I feel like that kind of answers it, but we'll just go ahead and clarify. Wait, I thought, oh, the tower. So they're going through their own tower. Wow. So I'm just going to ask, is this person going to change? Because for this one, they said, I hope that you can forgive me. But to truly forgive, like, you know, somebody has to actually change, right? And the way they can actually change is to take accountability. So is this person going to do what they need to do to better themselves with whatever that is? Are they going to be honest and open with the collective? The Star. So yeah, wish fulfillment. They are going to come. They're going to come forward. They're going to do the work. Okay. But timeline, I don't know. Okay. I don't know, but well, Queen of Swords. So, you know, that could be weeks. It could be months, but maybe they're scared of what you're going to say or what you think of them. Oh my gosh. With the Sun card. So they see you as the sun. You know, I don't know why, but what's really coming to me is that I feel like somebody is, I guess this one wanted to come out, the Emperor. So they want to be the Emperor. They want to get to where, they want to get to be the man that you deserve. And I think it's so funny and interesting because, like, you know, readings can really take on a complete change. So for me, like, you know, I never commit to what I'm sharing, you know, because I tell you what I feel and what I see, and I'm always open and honest. And sometimes it changes, you know, but energy is fluid. Energy always changes. So just because I said something in the beginning doesn't mean I'm going to just commit to that. Like, if the energy changes, the energy changes, you know. So, and sometimes that just also tells me that people are, you know, when you do collective readings, there's many energies involved. So sometimes the readings have a little bit for everybody in them. So take what resonates, okay, and leave the rest. And just know, it doesn't matter how many readers you go to or what you hear or what you see. You and your relationship with God is like, nothing trumps that, right? You are in control of your own destiny. Earth Star activation, anchoring grounded action, Isis energy. So what I'm seeing when I look at this card is basically, you have grounded energy. This person wants to, and you might be in our sign, this person wants to have the stability I think that maybe you have. Maybe you were very stable in their life. And maybe you came into their life and that spiritual lesson is to activate them, to awaken them. And you know, I'm not a twin flame reader, but I will say maybe this is your divine counterpart. You know, you guys are mirroring each other. And maybe you just healed first. Holy Grail, inner discovery, finding sacredness. You are what you seek. So I feel like right now, for this collective especially, if you have already done the work, you've literally laid the path for your partner to do the work as well. Some of them might be struggling with addictions, maybe gambling. Holy Grail, you know what, since I just said it could be your divine counterpart, like, and then the Holy Grail coming out, I'm just kind of reminded, it's, you know, I can't deny that. So I don't know if there's any more cards from here. I'm not feeling it. So I'm going to pull one from our, I don't know what it's called. I think it's like the Lover's Oracle. Okay. So I'll pull one from there. Okay. And I'm going to get, let's see. I'm going to get like an overall energy at the end. Okay. And just so you know, guys, come back for more. I'm going to be posting daily, and I'm going to do zodiac signs. I'm going to do love signs. I'm going to do, or I'm sorry, not love signs, love readings. I'm going to do work, you know, all of that, star seed. I'm just going to authentically read what comes out. Okay. So I'm not going to commit to one thing because I like to do everything. So, but what I like to do is read it as a story at the end. Okay. So if you like my readings and you like my style, please like, subscribe. I have started this channel so long ago. I have had everything ready. I've been reading cards for a long time, but I just never took the leap. And in the last few weeks, I can't stop thinking about it. So I'm going to follow my calling. And I hope that I can help a lot of you along the way. And I know you're going to help me too, because that's the way it is, the energy exchange. All right, this one keeps coming to mind, so I think it's this one. Look deep within your heart and you will feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. Oh, this person really loves you. I get the feeling that this person is healing because of how much they love you, or maybe how much you love them. I'm going to get one more. I always tell Spirit, I'm so nosy. Tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more. Okay. The past is now behind you. Release it and embrace new possibilities. A new path is now available to you. Follow it with faith. Okay. Wow. So that was a really good reading. I hope that you got something out of that. Okay. And if you didn't, come back for more. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. And please subscribe, like my channel if you like it. And if you don't, then leave it, because I do not want to, yeah. If you like, please come back. I really appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I hope you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.